Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of our favorite shows. Tonight is Friday night, y'all, so y'all know we are talking Ready to Love. This is season 5, episode 11, All in the Family, okay? First of all, before we get started, please click that like button, okay? Click that share button, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe. Thank you guys for all the support and comments we've been getting so far. It's my birthday month, okay? I got my Dirty 30 shirt on, if y'all can see it. I'm over 30 though. So it's gonna be a fourth Dirty 30. Anyway, best birthday present would be a subscriber, okay? Anyway, let's get into this episode of Ready to Love, okay? Just another mess. We're gonna have to throw Potomac away just like we threw DC away, y'all. Let's just get into it. We still gonna have to get Sabrina and Paul together as well in this episode. Okay, the episode starts out with all the fellas coming to the gentleman's lounge, right? And we have just 4 men left. We have Paul left, don't know how he made it. We have Clifton, Demetrius, and Donovan left. Now, I'm a woman who can own what I said. Very first episode, I said Paul gotta go. A couple episodes later, I said, oh, Paul, he's really love. He's just kind of different. He just kind of approaches the things differently, but I think he's ready to love. He's opening up. Last few episodes, I'm like, no. I figured out what it is. It's that Paul and that POJ thing. Paul is for them streets. He want him a young wild thing. I believe Carmen was right about some of the things she said. He does not look at Dakia in a sexy way. He looked at Tina in that way to get him going in the bedroom. And that's why he was so upset she did not return to the process. We're going to get into all that. So anyway, Nephew Tommy checks in with everybody, okay? And he is asking the fellas, I know we were all together, it was tough, but how are we doing after that? We got to take this process serious. And if Tommy says he takes the process very serious, so, he has to check in with everybody and see how everybody's doing. And he said if somebody's not taking the process seriously, he will remove them himself. So he said, speaking of that, Tina. So we seen at the end of last week's episode that Nephew Tommy tried to go meet up with Tina. She wasn't answering the phone. He was like, Tina, answer the phone, girl. She was not answering. Tina removed herself from the competition. And so Nephew Tommy eliminated her. Although she already pretty much eliminated herself, Nephew Tommy. But you do you, okay? And I did this week watch Tina's interview with Kojo on Little Black Book. I did not know she was part of BGS. That's very interesting and telling. We could totally go all into that, but I don't think we're gonna do that yet. She also had a little bit of their behavior and was kind of defensive like them, but she did say she removed herself from the competition and she was just too much for her. And she was talking about editing quite a bit, just like some of those BGS girls. So anyway, that's neither here or there, y'all. I don't want to spend too much time on Tina because she gone. Anyway, so Tommy checks in with all the fellas individually. He checks in with Donovan, and Donovan says, like, yeah, Sabrina kind of threw me a curve. I'm going to have to meet her, see where her head's at. And he basically feels like he's going to move forward with Carmen anyway. Demetrius feels like him and Sabrina kind of need to have a reset. Paul said he's connected with Dakia, and he's not worried about any of his other connections, and this is a real one. So Nephew Tommy kind of challenged him, and he said, I can't word exactly how Nephew Tommy said, but he was like, well, what about the other connections you had? He's like, well, I trust the kid. I don't trust the other connections, meaning he don't trust that Carmen. And he said, he's all focused on the kid now. He not worried about the other connections. And Nephew Tommy was like not believing what anything he was saying, and nobody was, okay? We don't believe it, Paul. We don't believe it, okay? We do not believe it. I gotta sneeze, y'all. Okay, never mind. Sneezing away. These allergies. Anyway, So nephew Tommy was just feeding us a bunch of bull. He still want to be in the competition, so he scrambled to hurry up and connect with Dakia. And nephew Tommy see right through that, just like the rest of us. So anyway, nephew Tommy said, "Y'all gonna meet the family, okay?" So he wants to Phyllis to introduce the ladies to their family. Okay, so that's the task of the week, right? So we start out with Clifton and Joy, the only solid. It's like playing spades. We get a solid and a possible, okay? That's all we got. I don't even think we can get 3 books out this season anyway. So Clifton and Joy, they go, Joy comes to meet up with Clifton, and we have his cousin Maurice, they call him Reese, and we have his aunt, I believe. Very nice family. So Joy and Clifton's connection seems pretty genuine to me, and the family seem to like her. Joy did say the thing that sucks is that after this, process is over, she has to go back to Mexico, and she lives there for about 6 months out of the year due to her singing career. I didn't know Joy was down to Mexico singing. She said Puerto Vallarta. I don't. She go to one of them places, y'all. Anyway, I'm about to go to Mexico myself soon, y'all. I'll tell y'all about that another day, though. Anyway, so I'm like, Clifton likes to travel. They talked about that in the first episode. If he really wants to make it work, and they really are a real couple, they'll make their long distance work. Can Joy sing other places besides Mexico? She must have a gig at like a resort or some kind of show or something. I'm imagining she's also a songwriter, which I didn't know that. I would love to know more about Joy's singing career. If anybody knows, drop it in the comments. Or if anybody got a connection to Joy, reach out to her so she can reach out to me so I can reach out to her. So anyway, and Joy did get emotional about the fact that she was going to have to go back to Mexico, and that does worry Clifton. He doesn't want to start a relationship out like that. But like I said, if they're meant to be, they're going to make it work. They're going to put the work in, right? And the family was concerned about that, but they could tell that they did have that Joy will fit right into their family, and Joy feels like she would fit in their family. So overall, that was a good day. We ain't got no worries there. We'll see how Clifton and Joy are holding up at the reunion and post-reunion, right? Anyway, then we move on. We see Donovan and Sabrina meeting up, okay? We were all waiting for this part, y'all. So, Sabrina feels like Donovan attacked her character in last week's episode when they all had the group meetup with Tommy because of things that he said that she said, which I believe she did. So, she was like, I feel like you attacked my character. I didn't say those things. And he was like, you did. And she was like, I feel like he said basically you weren't being honest about your other connections with Demetrius. She basically was during that trip was more so focusing on Demetrius. And so then Sabrina in the confessional said she can't believe Donovan right now. He's up there sitting up there acting like a bitter baby. I'm like, how is he a bitter baby when you said all these things about him not being ready to love? Because that's what Donovan was upset about, is that Sabrina saying that she doesn't feel like Donovan is ready to love. And so I'm like, girl, you can't say something and decide how somebody can take it. Like, they're gonna take it how they want to take it. You can't control that. So then Sabrina said that she started feeling moving more towards Demetrius because, well, first she said that when Nephew Tommy brought on Donovan, he really was the curveball Nephew Tommy said he was going to be. I don't know what that was supposed to mean, Sabrina, but we already side-eyeing you. Actually, we just looking at you at this point. We ain't even side-eyeing. We looking directly at you, Sabrina. Okay? So he said, Sabrina said that that Donovan has said that if she doesn't show that she's interested in him at the retreat, then he's gonna move more towards Carmen. And so she said he said it, and then she was like, that's how I felt going into the retreat. So it's like, is that how you felt, or is that what he said? And so then in Donovan's confession, she was like, she lying. And so I'm just like, oh my God, these two didn't call each other liars. In the last last week's episode, I'm like, Lord, what y'all got going on here at Ready to Love on network? So then he was like, I did not say that. And so I'm like, Sabrina, how you gonna be? So basically what she said was that she wasn't going to put too much effort into him. This is what she said. She wasn't going to put too much effort into him on the retreat because he has other connections with Carmen. And I'll think to myself, like, girl, you have other connections, so why are you mad that he has other connections? Like, I don't know what Sabrina wants. I don't know what game she's playing. She's giving Kyra 2.0 on a whole nother level. Like, what are we doing? Like, if you don't like none of the men, girl, bye. And you shown all your true colors, Sabrina, and you're very nasty. Sabrina was so nasty to Donovan. She was nasty to him at that table. I'm gonna sneeze for real now. Ew, glad it came out. Anyway, hopefully y'all told me bless you. Anywho, because okay, like I was saying, Sabrina was very nasty in person because something Donovan said, and he's like, I didn't mean to cut you off, but She's like, well, you just did. I'm like, dang, girl. And then in the confessional, she was like, he's up there all upset and with his old, making that old nasty smirk and cleaning out his nasty beard and his dirty fingernails. I'm like, wow. And there's something else nasty she said about him in the confessional. And they just left on very bad terms. They both very having condescending attitudes towards each other. And I think there's a little truth to what Sabrina said, and there's a lot of truth to what Donovan said. I imagine Donovan did start moving more towards Carmen because of the way Sabrina was moving. But Sabrina, I'm like, girl, you think all the men supposed to chase after you? Like, I'm glad that, okay, on one hand, I like Sabrina and respect her for the fact that, she's empowering as a woman, right? Like, she gonna have the cards in her hand. She gonna be top dog, player, whatever, however y'all want to look at it, right? But however, like, you gotta know, also want to be soft, Sabrina. You gotta know when to let a man lead you. You gotta know, in my opinion, y'all, I'm not saying I know everything, but that's great that Sabrina knows her worth and knows her value and feels that she can pretty much get any man she wants because that's the energy she gives. But you also will scare a lot of men off by some of your actions. And you were super nasty to Donovan. Like, she is not the sweet girl we think she is. So I was just like, girl, bye, go home. So anyway, then we see Paul and Dakia. And Paul's introducing Dakia to his younger brother. Paul's younger brother looked like him. They sound the same voice, okay? So Dakia came. She basically gave the brother her resume. And she works as an engineer for NASA. She owns a ballet studio. She does this, she does that. And she's ready to receive love in her life. And the brother said some of her answers were real textbook. But she definitely would be, a good match with Paul to help him continue to grow and all that stuff. But Paul don't want a serious professional woman. He want a wild woman, okay? So that's why it's not going to work. So anyway, also on that date, Dakia was saying in her confessional that she's trying to see if, before Paul, I skipped a date, y'all. Before Paul and Dakia even went on the date, Paul and Dakia did meet up. And Paul wanted to clear the air about the things that Carmen said. And so she was like, yeah, that whole meetup brunch thing we had was wild. And so he was saying, like, I did have a private conversation with Carmen. And I told her that I want a woman that's going to, when I see her walk through the door, she's going to get me going already. And so Carmen asked, does Dakia do that for you? And he said Carmen took that and spun it as if I said all those things. Now, notice that Paul cut it right there. He didn't tell Dakia. So y'all my granny used to say, pay attention to what a person doesn't say. Don't always pay attention to what comes out their mouth. Pay attention to what they're not saying. Notice he cut it right there. He didn't say what he responded back to Carmen, because he gave her a response back. And I believe he said every word of it. Okay, maybe Carmen did twist a little bit of something there, because Carmen does have her ways. We're not going to take away Carmen's faults from her. She has those faults. But I believe he said that. I believe he is, Paul believes the kid's attractive, surface level. Yeah, the kid's a beautiful woman, but he sees her, Paul, the kid looks close to Paul's age. They're about the same age range. He don't want a woman like that. That doesn't turn him on. And I believe that's what he said. That's point blank period. And Dakia, girl, you better wake up. And so that date is when Paul said, I want to move forward with you, and I regret not spending time with you and really making a move. And the kid did ask him where is he at now when it comes to Carmen, because she's like, if you rocking with a person like that, I can't rock with you. And he said no, he's not pursuing Carmen any longer. So Carmen ain't checking for you either, Paul. Carmen wasn't a good, he didn't want Carmen either. It was just Carmen had a little, I think, not to sound mean or shady, but I think he did find Carmen sexier. That first date they had, and Carmen had her things out, and she let him put the pickle in his mouth. He liked that. So, moving back to, just to kind of parallel and wrap it all up, moving back to the date that Dakia had with Paul and his brother. Paul's brother did say that, she could seem like she could loosen it up a little bit, and that's been a common theme with the whole season when it comes to Dakia. Like, even Clifton said, she has that kind of serious side. He want to see if she has the other side to her, and he kind of was bringing it out of her. I think that's why she was kind of really hurt when it didn't work out at the lake house, because she was really letting her guard down with Clifton, and it just wasn't reciprocated, unfortunately. But you can tell she doesn't let her guard down with too many of the men, and it's been a theme of Dakia being more buttoned up, and Carmen knows when to button it up and when not to. So that's that on that. So anyway, we done with Paul. Anywho, so then we have Demetrius and Sabrina meet up, right? So Demetrius and Sabrina meet up to see where things are, and Sabrina said they're at a crossroad. I didn't know they was at a crossroad from the lake house. I don't know how we got to the crossroads, Sabrina, but okay. I feel like Sabrina making problems out of nowhere, but okay. So she says she still has issues with Demetrius, and so Demetrius was to address what she brought up at the lake house when she said, or at the brunch thing, when she said that she still has issues with, she told nephew Tommy that she still has issues with Demetrius wanting a more submissive woman. He said that he was shocked when she brought that up because, excuse me, that's not exactly how he feels. Like, he, doesn't have a problem bending on that. He feels that's something they can work through. She doesn't feel like it's something they can work through. She feels like they both having a power struggle. They're both pretty dominant personalities, and Demetrius is not going to let a woman run over him. Okay? And Sabrina wants to run over a man. That's just what it is. And I did tweet out that the man that would have let Sabrina run over her, she eliminated last week, and that was Tori, okay? So Donovan is not going to put up with Sabrina's hot mess, and Demetrius is not going to put up with Sabrina's hot mess, okay? So anyway, only Tori was the only one willing to put up with that mess. Or even when she eliminated him, he still really liked her. So, and you could tell because when Ace met up with him, when she self-eliminated without saying nothing. This is truly the season of self-elimination, y'all. So, Demetrius says, I feel like we could work on these things. I feel like we could work it out. I didn't know where your head was at because you had connections as well and all this stuff. And so, Sabrina was like, I think we both got to just put the effort in. And so he said, okay, just finish your drink. I have a surprise for you. So, my family's in town for the weekend. So I want you to meet my family. He really proposed it like we didn't have nephew Tommy introduce what the thing was going to be for this week for the men to introduce the women to the family. He said it like it was, oh, by the way, my family's in town. You want to meet them? Like Demetrius. That was the premise of tonight's episode. We didn't need the fake setup, brother. So anyway, Sabrina was like looking, you could tell she was looking so like, oh no, I cannot meet his family. Like her facial expression was like, you could tell she was not having that. So I already kind of feel like she was going to say no before she said it, just based on her face. So then she's like, you want to meet your family? And then he's like, yeah, I want you to meet my family. And she's like, no. Basically, her feeling was she didn't feel like they were there yet. Like, that would be moving too fast. It wouldn't be good to meet them under, what did she say? Under their relationship not doing well. But it's like, you guys are trying to move forward. So how are you meeting them on bad terms? Like, she want to be in bad terms with people. I don't get Sabrina. I just don't get it. Like, you guys are trying to move forward, so why not do it? I don't get it. So, and this is the show. Like, this is not real life, Sabrina. This is the show. So, yeah, under normal circumstances, you wouldn't meet his family this soon, but this is a show. So, she feels like that's something for when you're like about to marry somebody, so she declines. So you can tell that kind of took Demetrius for a loop there, threw him back. So then we see Donovan bring his mom. His mom was so freaking cute. I love Donovan's mom. She was hilarious. She was really ready to tell it all. Okay, so Carmen comes to meet Donovan and his mom. So before she got there, Donovan's mom was asking him a bunch of questions. She's like, what's the birthday? And I think she's trying to figure out her sign or something, but he was like, Mom, we're not doing this right. So I was like, did he not know Carmen's birthday, or did he not want her to get all into that? So anyway, Carmen came. Now Carmen was a whole different person on this date, okay? She was very homely looking. She had her hair pulled back. She didn't have too much cleavage showing. Really, I don't think none at all. I couldn't tell if she had on a long dress or jumpsuit. It was something typical she would wear, but she was just more covered up. She had that jacket on, which she did eventually take off. She was very mellow. She was very male-mannered. Totally different Carmen than we've seen. Carmen knows how to act in different situations. I'm sure that's from her job. So, and Donovan's mom loved her, so it worked out. They want to exchange numbers. Donovan's mom was trying to tell Carmen all the tea. And she was saying, she raised Donovan as a single mom. And the life lessons she's taught him. And she asked Carmen, what, had things have you taught your son? Because, Carmen is a single mom to her son as well. So kind of they related on those situations. And Carmen said, she grew up poor, was just her and her mom. And she went without, so she got anything new. It was exciting, so she wanted to teach her son about everyone isn't raised the same, have different backgrounds, and her son hasn't seen his father. Carmen's son hasn't seen his father in 8 years. I'm very curious to know why that is. Is he just out of his life? Like, where's Carmen's son's dad? Where's Carmen's baby daddy? But seriously, I want to know what is going on there. And Carmen can relate to that because I guess she was raised without her father as well, or maybe he wasn't in the home. And Donovan's father wasn't in the home, and Donovan's mom was saying, she told make sure Donovan knew like that was the dad's loss, not his. So they all kind of connected on that, and that's very interesting and telling. But anywho, Carmen and Donovan's mom hugged it out. They exchanged numbers. They good. She loves her. She really loved Carmen's representative. So anyway, moving on. I believe we got through all the dates, right? So then we go back to the gentleman's lounge, and Tony checks in with everybody. He asks everybody how things are going. He talked to Paul, and in the beginning, so Nephew Tommy did say, Paul, I'm watching you, because Nephew Tommy don't believe nothing Paul's saying. So he checked in with Paul. Paul said he had a good date with Dakia. He gonna try to, he's going to take his time, but he's going to try to make it work with Dakia, move forward with her. Ultimately his decision. Clifton spoke about Joy going to Mexico, and Nephew Tommy said, all the stars align, it can work. He's rooting for them. And then he addressed Donovan. Donovan said he talked to Sabrina. She still was not taking accountability for any of the things she said. She probably never will. Can't wait to see this reunion, right? And so he said he's going to move forward with his connection with Carmen. Donovan is done with Sabrina. It's a wrap, okay? So then Demetrius talked to Nephew Tommy, and he said, he had a talk with Sabrina. They talked about this whole submissive thing. He feels like they could work it out. He proposed introducing her to his family, and she declined. Nephew Tommy was like, what? Everybody's like, what? Like, they got to take a sip to this, what? And so Nephew Tommy's like, yeah, if she don't want to meet your family, like, that's not a good sign. You need to, circle back, follow through. Sabrina, is not done throwing through the process. She's still trying to make her decision. But at this point, it's like, girl, we got to make a decision. She's giving Kyra tease. I'm telling you, more than Kyra. Worse than Kyra, in my opinion. So, Nephew Tommy tells Demetrius, take her on, you guys go meet up again, and you make the decision based on what she says now. So then, we have Demetrius and Sabrina go on a date, and he's like, I got appetizers and drinks for you, girl. He might have got that for her earlier, but anyway, they had drinks nonetheless, y'all. And so Sabrina came in there looking all nice, and she was thanking him for sending her inspirational morning text and saying that she really appreciates that. And he says, yeah, I always start my day like that, try to be positive, and she really likes that, okay? So then he says, I was shocked you didn't want to meet my family. I thought we were moving forward. Thought we were trying to work things out. And she was like, for me, meeting family is like you're about to marry somebody. I know how my dad is. Like, if I don't just bring my boyfriends to meet my dad, like if I'm bringing the guy to meet my dad, like it's for marriage purposes. So that's the one, I guess. But it's like, girl, you're gonna meet his family, not your family yet. That's next week. So anyway, Sabrina's making all the excuses of why she's not trying to do it, and she feels like because their issues. Oh, I forgot to mention in the earlier episode, she was saying that Demetrius wants her to, want a woman to take his last name when they get married, and she was like, oh, like you want a woman to take your last name, like I don't want to do that, and he was like, that's a normal thing, like he's kind of shocked that that's an issue for her, and she was like, is it really though? And he was like, I would think it would be, it would be something we would definitely have to talk about because it would bother me. My thing, y'all, I would take my man's last name. I understand why some women don't. Maybe it's a family issue or you're the only child and, you want to carry out your family's last name. I get all that. I would take my husband's last name. I have no problem doing that. I feel like it would bring us closer together and just, make us a whole family unit, in my opinion. But I understand why women don't. Everything's different now. It's 2022, y'all. So, but she was just like, totally against it. And it's like, girl, you gonna be alone. The rate you going, Sabrina, you gonna be alone. So back to the eliminate. So then Sabrina, Demetrius, they're talking about everything, and she's saying, I don't feel like, in this process, you really. So basically, she said, Sabrina eliminated herself. She said that she doesn't feel they have too many issues that they can't really move forward. They wouldn't be able to work it out. And Dimitri, she said she went into this process and she started out, with them together being their number ones. And he was like, I only pursued you. You were my number one from day one the whole time. And you're my number one now. And we started this process together and we're ending this process together separately. And he wished her the best. And she was saying that she doesn't feel that their connection is strong enough to be able to work it out, and she doesn't feel like there's anything there, and she pretty much removed herself from the process. And at least she did it now. She didn't wait till they got down to the bridge like the other Sabrina did, right? I have mixed emotions about this. I am gonna say, Sabrina, you playing in our face. You wasted our time. You gave Tori the hard time, not letting him just chase after you when you didn't like him. You used them to make Demetrius jealous. Okay. Donovan you did like, but I think when you saw him having a strong connection with Carmen and Tina, you backed away. Demetrius you really did like, but he wasn't going to chase you where you wanted to be chased like Tori did. But you liked and respected Demetrius more than you liked Tori, and you respected him, okay? And so it was a power struggle there, right? Demetrius is not going to chase after Sabrina. He doesn't have to do that. That's not the type of man he is. And Sabrina is very headstrong herself, and she kind of did chase after Demetrius, but I think she only was going to chase so far, right? So I feel like she kind of wasted our time. I also didn't like how she's getting mad at the men for having other connections and not chasing her the way she wanted to be chased. Like, girl, are you playing a game here? Like, what is the issue? What is the issue, Sabrina? What is the issue? Like, and then how nasty she was to Donovan and playing games with Tori, bringing him that candle when she don't even like him like that. And Not like in the men's reactions when she's moving crazy and saying they not ready to love. Like, girl, what you think they gonna say back? They're gonna be, oh, thank you, Sabrina. No, they're gonna be upset. Like, girl. But the other side of me feels like Demetrius. See, he was quiet from the very beginning. I never liked or trusted Demetrius. Everybody fell in love with him in that plum suit. I didn't see it for him at all. And he was kind of moving like a player. I believe Tina, when she said he kind of had player vibes. He wasn't really going after Sabrina that hard. He's just sitting there on that bus when Tori was chopping it up with Sabrina. He wasn't saying nothing. He wasn't showing his interest in the way Sabrina would have liked. Okay, so I feel like he kind of met his match in Sabrina, because I think when he finally was trying to lock it down with Sabrina and show interest like he was in this episode, she had already mentally and emotionally checked out from Demetrius and gave up on trying to chase him. And so he kind of played himself and she played herself. And that's that. They met their match, in my opinion. Let me know what y'all think of the whole Sabrina Demetrius drama in the comments. Let me know what y'all think of Paul and Dakia. Forced relationship. Okay, forced. So, before the episode ended there, but before the liberations, and so Demetrius also left the show because, you know, Sabrina left the show. That was his only connection. Before that scene, that day after the liberations, Tommy said, you know, next week we find out, you know, which couples are gonna, you know, make it, walk off to the sunset, and find out who's really ready to love. So next week is the final episode. Thank God. I think this has been a long, draining season of Ready to Love. We're ready to just get to the reunion and clear up all this mess and bull. Tina probably not gonna show up because just, girl, sit yourself at home with BGS. Anyway, though, y'all, let me know what y'all think of this episode. What y'all think is gonna go down in the reunion. Give me your true feelings when it comes to Sabrina and Paul. Give me y'all true feelings in the comments. Please subscribe, share, and like. And I will see y'all hopefully tomorrow night for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Bye.